Hey guys, this is Kurt from Relv Camo. I'm the guest today on Welcome to this show, and we're here on not the 9 o'clock Pews.
That's
You can
right.
tell I'm new to this. I want to introduce my hosts, Tim and Arius. Hey guys, my first question for you is, what do you know about Relv Camo?
Okay.
Let me
Arius,
just-
do you want to jump into this?
Yeah, go on. Let me just read the about us. No, I'm kidding. I'm quite curious. you say our mission is to create weaponized camouflage, and I'm kind of scared already. Well, I'm assuming you do camouflage, obviously. I've had a look at some of your camo. It's pretty cool. Some similarities with other camouflages, but you have your own twist on it, which is awesome. But other than that, I don't know anything else. The reason for this podcast is to find out more. But yeah, that's all I know so far. You have some. I think you've got 4 different camo types. Is that right?
Well, a lot more.
A lot more than that. Okay,
4.
I've only seen 4 on the website. Tim, you go before I burn out. You can answer the rest of that.
Okay, well, that's a great introduction, a great start to the episode. Thank you so much for that, Arius. It goes to show that you've done no homework. But I do want to let the folks that are watching right now that Kurt and I actually have been talking for the past year, ever since SHOT Show 2019. And I found out about them once I had somebody post an image. I think it was Milsim News or Milsim Media. Yes, Milsim Media posted a image of a pair of Ultima boots with a new camo pattern that I had never seen before. And you know that moment when you smell really, really good food and you start drooling? That's exactly what happened. I started drooling over this specific pattern. I think it was the Relv Camo Marauder. And no, it wasn't the Marauder. It was the greener version of that. And I think that is called, what was that called again, Kurt?
Tunnel Rat.
Yes, the Tunnel Rat. That's the one.
Yeah.
I commented on his post, and then Kurt was like, "We should talk." Then we conversed, and we've been conversing ever since then, talking about anything that has a Relv camo pattern on their specific item. Yeah, that's my introduction to Relv.
So what did we miss?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real quick, I want to circle back with Arius because I'm curious as to the patterns and what he likes, what he notices are similar.
Moab was one of them that really hit me. It had that psychedelic look, but also Copperhead. I'm into my my Eastern camouflage patterns, my European Eastern stuff, and that really, to be honest, to me, am I allowed to name camos I think are similar to it, or is it?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a bit, not fleck tarn, but something similar to that. Has the same kind of color scheme, but also the Polish camos as well. I love the woodland stuff. That really appeals. Tunnel Rat's pretty. Tunnel Rat's interesting. It's got a bit of a mix of black and green, which is pretty cool. There's your copper. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Arius, is there something that you would like to showcase on a separate screen? That sits
can
below
do.
Kurt?
Yes. Let me show.
And if I remember correctly, I remember seeing a Moab Ultima boots, and I think you even have a pair, Kurt, and you've had it for the longest time.
Yeah, I do. They're upstairs in my closet.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's not go and fetch them. I feel like that's quite a trip.
I can put my plaid shirt on since this is hidden in Plaid's site. Today's episode.
That's right. Yeah. That is today's episode, everybody.
So there you go.
But we're talking specifically about just camo and nothing in particular, just camo in general. But obviously isolating the subject matter to Relv. So Kurt. Can I ask you, so what do you know, Mr. CEO, about Relv Camo?
Oh, man. All right, so here's the quick DL. I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I had an opportunity a few years ago to design for a company called Skre, S-K-R-E, skregear.com.
Yeah.
They have a hunting camo, and they were running one of my competitors' patterns, and they wanted to add one more pattern to their lineup. So they asked me, because I've been designing apparel for them, they asked me if I wanted to try my hand at designing camouflage. And if you guys look at screegear.com, you'll see the summit pattern that I designed with one of the partners there at Scree. He's my client, and we worked closely, and he basically described what he wanted, and I created it, and that is the Scree summit pattern.
Yes.
And that pattern has been so successful for Scree, I just realized I can do this again and again and again. So we, my wife and I, started Relv, and she named the company. It's an Estonian word. It means weapon. And we wanted a short name and something that's easy to remember. And so she found this word, and at first I didn't like Relv. I don't know. And she did, and so I ran down to the studio and quickly created this logo, the one that's on my hat, the Relv blade.
Yep.
And messed around with the logo and made that blade shape the V in Relv, and it was that moment where I smelled the food. If I can borrow your analogy, Tim, and knew, okay, Relv it is. So we registered the company and started filing trademarks, and and then the patterns came along at the same time. So Copperhead, Moab, the Everglade series is newer, but you'll see on our website. What do we have up there? Moab, Dino Hide, Copperhead. What else is up there?
Medusa.
Oh, Medusa. Yeah.
Tunnel Rat. Yes.
And so we have many, many more in the pipe, but those are the ones that are right now. I don't want to flood the market with more and more, because then you start to compete with yourself. So
yeah. Okay, that's totally understandable.
It's interesting as a side note on Moab. Moab was kind of the bastard child, if you will. I didn't think that Moab would go anywhere, really. I as you can see, it's at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
And it has become our ringer.
It's psychedelic in a way.
Yeah, there's a good description.
I feel like once I saw Moab, I hate to draw comparisons to your competitors, but it's what I thought of when we first started conversing. It reminded me of how Cryptek and Multicam blends and melts together. It was that psychedelic mold and melting. It looks very liquid, and it seems very liquid in design. And I thought that was a very, very slick pattern.
Oh, thank you. And I don't mind the comparison, because I have tremendous respect for Caleb and for Butch and Josh at Cryptek, Caleb Fry, and no, that's I appreciate that. Even to be mentioned with those companies is an honor. So, yep.
Yeah, there are many patterns in that list. And for those that are watching on Facebook right now, what I can do for you is start... if I could just start linking these on our channel, and that's something that I'm doing right now as I am talking. And Kurt, you can continue with the next question if you would like.
Okay, so question: how does camo play into the world of airsoft? How critical is camouflage in the sport of airsoft?
So, do you want me to answer and give you some time?
Please.
It's still clicking
yes,
away.
You answer, yes.
So from my experience, playing, it really depended on, well, actually, it was a great thing because it depended on your environment. You had loads of different environments. You had urban environments and rural environments, and a mix of the two. So it was interesting to see people wanted to basically diverge with their environments. That's a weird word to use. They wanted to meld in with their environments. I need a thesaurus. I'm kind of finding it hard to describe stuff. But for airsoft, it was a mix of cosplay and functionality. So you'd have people who'd wear multicam for both functionality and the fact that, you know, it's really popular and a lot of different people use it. But then there'd be people who go, oh, I want tiger stripe. And I'm not saying Tiger Stripe isn't effective, but you get people using them in urban environments. You got people using them in scenarios where, you know, the environment's not made for it, or the opposite way around. The Tiger Stripe's not made for that environment, but they wear it because it's cool. It reminds them of characters from games, and it reminds them of certain things they've seen on film and stuff like that. And it's the same with wearing grey, wearing black, wearing blue, stuff like that. And for Airsoft, I think it's a huge part of just playing the game, choosing camo, mixing them. It's like people come in with DPM, some people come in with Flecton, some people come in with all sorts. They mix their Cryptex stuff, and I just think, what are you doing? But it's because they enjoy it. They want all those camouflage patterns on them when they play. It doesn't matter if it works or not. And I think it's something that bleeds into not fashion, but stuff people want to wear in general. It's like outside of Airsoft, I see people wearing, oh, these pants are comfortable, that's why I wear them. It's like, really? Is it not because you really like the camouflage that comes with it? It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Walks away in pink camo. But yeah, I think it's a huge part of Airsoft. Are you ready, Tim?
I totally understand that. No, I'm ready. I've been ready for the past since the beginning.
Cool.
But I totally get that, and I think people in Airsoft don't necessarily need to wear camouflage. I've seen people wear the most ridiculous sets out there. I've seen people who wear onesies. They go as knights. I've seen Boba Fett, people in Star Wars outfits out there. And those who do want to represent, say, for instance, their country, they actually have a huge respect to those who serve. And I think that's mainly one of the main reasons as to why they wear a certain collection of camo patterns. It's been changing for the past, from year to year. From what I see now, I've seen people, yes, you're right, people go back into Tiger Stripe and then wear something else. I've seen people wear Ranger Green with multicam plate carrier. I've seen people wear multicam with multicam black plate carrier. You know, it's all over the place, and people get to show their identity, or they get to replicate an identity that they respect and want to replicate, and then bring it to Airsoft. And something that we've actually learned today, Arius and I learned today, that Kurt, yourself, that you used to play Airsoft or still do. Is there much truth in this?
There is a vicious rumor out there about it. I actually, just for Tim, I brought my very first Airsoft gun.
Yes.
This is my old ACR. Back when I think it was branded mag.
I think so. Oh, we've lost him.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Has he crashed again?
Yeah, he's crashed, and your screen's probably going to go weird once he exits this call.
Okay. All right.
Well, we'll keep
just
talking.
To let you know. All right. So
so that was his massage.
I actually got into Airsoft because at the time I was working as a contractor for the Department of Defense in the United States, and a lot of the guys I was working with were team guys and in the special operations community. And believe it or not, some of those guys Airsoft as a training tool. Big surprise.
That's awesome.
And so I was encouraged to give it a try. My brother, who is an armorer and builds rifles professionally, he was also playing Airsoft at the time. So I was like, hey, I'm going to give your sport a try. And the first Airsoft game that I went to had hundreds of people, and I was completely new to this. And so I showed up and I was completely overdressed. I had pads and I had all kinds of crap and face mask and the whole 9 yards. You know, I didn't know what to expect. And I was probably 20 minutes into it, and I am just shedding gear like crazy.
Yes.
Because I can't move. Yeah, I can't move. I can't move at all. So I have a photo somewhere of me. You know, they took photos of everybody that showed up to the match, and I guarantee you I was wearing maybe a third of that gear by the end of the match.
We've got to find that photo.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find it. But it's interesting just how that experience moved me right into real steel. And I've been a shooter my whole life, but more on the hunting and the long gun and the bolt gun side of things, shotguns. I'd never owned an AR-15 until I was playing airsoft. And during the Obama years, we were convinced that he was going to take everybody's guns. So I went down to the local gun store with my son, who was probably 9 at the time, and I bought an AR, and I paid way too much for it. And it was just a Bushmaster, nothing fancy. In fact, I still have the True Glow red dot that was on top of it.
Oh, fantastic! Let's see.
So the weapon was used, and it had this True Glow red dot, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, we just about saw it. Yeah, it was a green reticle.
Yeah. So that's where I started, guys. Was with the Bushmaster and airsoft, and then from there I got more and more opportunity to train with friends that I'd made in the community, both in the airsoft and then in the firearms community. And so yeah.
Do you still play?
I would if my son were still close by, but he is 19 and off living his life, and my brother is out of state, so I busy myself with designing camo these days.
That's it is your job, and I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And I have huge respect for that. And I'm glad that is your airsoft origin story, and how it's developed, and you finally made this amazing company, and it's on the rise, and people are noticing you left and right. I'm actually very, very happy for you, and have been ever since I started conversing with you a whole year ago.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
So when you went to that airsoft game, now when you removed all that gear, did you feel like camo was important in airsoft, or is it literally just you wear what you feel comfortable?
I'm a big believer in camouflage. I think when the engagement starts and the BBs start flying, though, speed is critical, and of course it depends on the field that you're playing. We were playing in 6-7 foot high brush, and that's very different than an urban environment where you've got an old dilapidated factory or an old mining facility, which we've played a bunch in Nevada. So yes, camouflage. I just love camo, so I could probably get along with a plaid shirt, but yeah. So I do think that camo plays a huge role in airsoft for all the reasons that you guys have already mentioned. I loved. We had a Navy SEAL who came and played with this group of guys that we had, and thankfully he took the fact that most of us were dressed like he and his teammates were dressed, years before in Afghanistan. Thankfully, he took that as an homage and a way for us to honor them, and not offended at a bunch of, airsoft guys that are wannabes, whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's difficult.
He didn't go that route, and I think he was actually, flattered that so many of the guys just looked up to him and appreciated what he and others throughout the world were doing to protect their country and their people. And so anyway,
that's amazing. Thank you.
I think the thing about also with camo is the lifestyle, because that's really where we're going as a company with Relv. We have clients that are in the tactical space. We have clients that are in the hunting world, and we have clients that are just flat out, it's all about street style, and they love camo, and they've been seeing essentially the same pattern, just reimagined a million times. And where we're seeing success is we really strive to introduce fresh designs into that space with street style.
Sure.
You can find a knockoff of M81 throughout the fashion world. All you have to do is get on the internet right now, and you'll see 5,000 variants of M81.
Well,
I actually started noticing that.
I've got an interesting comment that I just want to voice.
Yeah.
Is He's a friend of mine, and I can't even say his YouTube channel properly. Guriga Airsoft is saying that you need some camo pajamas if you're gonna go into the street stuff. I think maybe Medusa in some kind of silk would be great.
You got it. Tell him we have the boxer shorts that are already in production.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we have a couple of companies that are building shorts. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that input though. Let him know that I'm definitely listening. We get most of our activity on our Instagram, by the way. So if people are interested in giving us feedback and things like that on products, we definitely watch our Instagram.
Yep.
He says he literally just thought about Medusa pajamas. So we're all on the same wavelength right now.
There you go.
Yep. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, that's right.
Kurt responds when he can. It's usually very quickly. So just go send them a message, folks, and keep an eye on their account. Everything new stuff is coming around the corner nearly daily. So it's awesome. It's
getting crazy, Tim. It's getting crazy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So yes, let's continue with the next question, shall we?
Yeah. Let me hop over. Hold on one second.
Hey, no worries. I'm just excited.
Okay, let's see. What is my favorite pattern or your favorite pattern?
Oh, do we have to guess your favorite pattern, or do we have to know No, we'll do ours, I guess.
Okay, we can
do yours, and I want you to guess mine.
Okay.
Can I ask before we guess yours? Is it one made by Ralph?
Ooh,
that's the thing. There are two questions. There's what is your favorite camo pattern, say in general, and another question that I did not come up with. It was definitely Kurt's question that he came up with a long time ago. But what is your favorite Ralph pattern? So there's two sets of questions.
So we'll answer two questions. Do you want to go for that? I guess I'll jump in. So I'll start with general, and I've said this before in the podcast, so I'm going to just repeat it. It's Polish woodland. I just like Polish woodland. It's not because of Hello Context. It's just because I had it 4 or 5 years ago. I just can't seem to find something better, in my opinion, for it. So Relv, I'd say Copperhead. Honestly, I know it's the first one on the list, but as I said about the Eastern pattern designs and stuff, it really relates for me.
Tickles your fancy.
It does.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
So that's what I'm
Okay, Tim.
Right. So when it comes to the camo pattern, there are so many different aspects these days, and mine's not even a pattern anymore. Mine's just a color. I really, really like mass gray. I don't know why, but like that brown gray combination. When I'm here in Canada and I'm here in the woods, even when it snows, because of the color of the bark, it just works it blends in so well. Ranger green is obvious. Anything brown is super obvious, but the mass gray is a perfect combination. And I've also grown an interest in night camo recently, so that's piqued my interest a lot. I've got myself like a night camo face mask. I have a night camo like a woolly, huge winter snow jacket. And I'm actually thinking of talking to FFI Flash Force Industries about acquiring night camo Gen 4 tactical shirts and pants. So that's very slick. But when it comes to my favorite Relv pattern, once I saw Moab, I thought it was astonishing. And like I said, it kind of reminded me of how multicam and Cryptek blends together. It was more like if multicam melted, was set on was a liquid, and it's a liquidized multicam from what I saw. But then I saw Marauder, and I was like, that is a multicam black, and that is just a liquidized multicam black. And I got so intrigued by it that I even bought myself
that's cool.
the camo case in Marauder, and I think it's the slickest thing in the world.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So if you guys like multicam black, Marauder. If you like multicam, go Moab, and then you can go Tunnel Rat too. Tunnel Rat is a fantastic looking pattern.
Thank you. I have a bunch of Tunnel Rat hanging here in the studio.
Hey.
As well as Moab. But yeah. Okay, so you guys get to guess my pattern, my favorite pattern.
Tim, you go first.
Outside of Relv, and then my Relv. What do you guys think?
Okay, Arius, do you want to make a guess? Do you want to?
I don't know you well enough. I think if I sat down with you, I'd probably get it out of you. I feel like I need to play a game of Guess Who, but camouflage ways. Does it wear glasses? Is it bald?
We could do, since you don't know very well.
Is it a US pattern?
Yeah. Is it a US pattern? Can we do 3 questions?
You can do as many as you want.
Okay, is it a US pattern?
Yes.
Cool. That doesn't narrow it down.
Is it within the past? Has it been around within the past decade? Is it a decade new?
It's seen a resurgence in the past decade.
Resurgence.
A resurgence.
Resurgence.
Is it?
Is it US woodland?
Oh, is it woodland?
No, it's not US woodland. Okay, back to the drawing
board. There's only one resurgence that I can think of, and that's tiger stripe.
You got it.
There we go.
Yep, you got it. When I was a kid, everyone else was wearing M81, and I wanted tiger stripe.
Yes. Do you know? I do love a tiger stripe, but I feel like for some particular reason that they got it wrong. Because I've been watching a lot of nature shows recently, and all these animals that have obviously the tiger, but then all these other animals that have stripes, all these stripes are vertical, not horizontal.
Right.
So once I saw tiger stripe, I was like, why is the pattern horizontal?
Yeah.
If they were to change it, because that's just how light streams go through a forest and everything is more vertical, if there was a way to change that, I would recommend making it vertical rather than horizontal. Yeah. That's only my that's my 2 cents. I don't know too much about camouflage, but the fact that I've seen it in nature, that it's always been that way. I'm just wondering why they decided to go for that.
Yeah, I liked the style. That is it.
That's the style.
My gripe has always been that it is a horizontal pattern, but it's just got a cool look. But you'll note as we jump into the next question, next guess, which is my favorite Relv pattern currently. Yes. Based on what you know about tiger stripe, which do you think is my favorite?
Oh, okay. Now, let's go to this. If you like tiger stripe, I reckon that you seem to wear a lot of dino hide.
Interesting.
So I've been silently moving my cursor around dino hide, thinking that might be the answer.
And the fact that I feel like dino hide. I'm just gonna put my money on dino hide. That's
okay.
All.
So Tim thinks dino hide. Arius, what do you think?
Should I agree with him, or shall I broaden the chances of getting it right?
I would go wider.
Oh, it's not dino hide, Tim. Tim, it's not dino hide.
Is it Medusa? Did I get it wrong?
Is it tunnel rat? It's not tunnel rat. Shit.
That leaves.
Go on, say it, Tim.
I mean,
I'm too appalled.
Copperhead.
Yes, Copperhead. Oh my God! I look at Copperhead right now, and I'm like, oh, that is so obvious. I look at it, I'm like, of course,
we're being wrong on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, for for attention's sake.
So, on that, we take Copperhead, or we take the old Vietnam era tiger stripe, and we make vertical, and we change up the axes on the fractal.
I see. Right. So, as a question to you, where do you draw your inspiration from? For when it comes to different patterns, everything?
Everywhere.
So,
I carry
nature.
my phone goes with me obviously everywhere, and I am driving my wife crazy because I'll see a fractal in the world, and it's not even necessarily nature all the time, but just a pattern, a fractal. The way, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, when I was hunting elk in Wyoming recently, I found this rock that looked like it was painted to be a Belgian camo, and there's also a British variant of an urban camo.
I remember seeing that. I was just like, that's a pretty looking rock. Why is he taking pictures of rocks?
Yeah, that's why, because it just is inspiring to me for patterns. So tunnel rat, for example, I was walking through, I used to live in Seattle, and tunnel rat started with a grimy, nasty sidewalk in downtown Seattle, covered in moss and grime and just bubble gum, and that became the inspiration for tunnel rat.
Does that happen to you where when you're walking around and you see these fractals, as you put it, do you just stand there and look obliviously into the top right corner of your mind as your mind just comes up with this thing, and you're just standing still for ages, and your wife is wondering what to do to you, or
I've had a stroke.
My husband broke. What am I gonna do?
My husband had a stroke and he's frozen in place. Yes. So to answer that, yes. They come in the middle of the night, and I will draw them. I will make notes. Moab, Aries has Moab up on the screen. Moab is an homage to one of my favorite playgrounds in the Mountain West here in the United States, and that's Moab, Utah. And so it's an homage to that area, and it's obviously the inspiration was a topographical map for that area. That became Moab.
I think I've been driven near there because was it 2018, 2019, it was 2018 that I went to Utah to SUPS, to South Utah Practical Shooting, or was it Practical Shooting Range? Yeah. To do some 3-gun stuff there. But
nice.
I can see similarities in the environments and stuff. It's very mixed with the desert, and then all of a sudden you got woodland, and I'm not sure I can find Moab on the map, but I think I've definitely driven past or near it.
Google map it right now.
Yeah, central eastern Utah.
Cool, that's good.
Yep.
But no, that's pretty.
Yeah, so that's where the inspiration comes for the patterns. I guess another example, we have the new Everglade family of patterns, and I am behind updating our website with Everglade, but you'll see a lot of it on our Instagram. It's Everglade is a pattern that I think it was the best way to describe it is that it was intended to be a hunting pattern.
Oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and we've got, let me see, I've got some.
I think this is a better picture of it. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm helping you trying to find these pictures.
Is this Everglade? It looks like a hunting pattern. Branches.
Yes, that's that. Yeah, and the colorway. So the way we work is like this, guys. So we have our families of patterns: Moab, Medusa, etc., and then we have colorways that are named as part of that family. Okay. So this Everglade pattern that you have up on the screen is actually, the name of that colorway is Harvester, and it's a gold. Yeah, it's a gold fall, autumn colorway.
It's the right season for it, from what I see.
Yep. But it's actually, the family it comes from is the Everglade. So when you think of the fractal, I guess, it's the Everglade fractal, just with a new updated colorway. So I give it a name so that people over time can, when they call up and they say, hey, I want Harvester, we know what that looks like, rather than, well, I want Everglade, but I want a gold color palette. You know what I mean? So
okay.
So if I look at different Instagram posts right next to this, am I going to see different patterns? Different color schemes of it. So this one looks more. That
one's Copperhead.
Yeah, that's Copperhead.
Yep.
And then we have, I think this is also part of your
I think-
hunting range? Hunting range? It says waterfowler. Is that just the hashtag, or is it part of the?
Yeah, it's just the hashtag. That's a term we use for duck hunters, goose hunters here in the States.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
this
very,
is
it's very familiar with generic hunting. It looks more in depth, to be honest. When I look at hunting gear and I see that pattern, I just think, oh, that's just sticks and branches colored over. But that's what they need. This one definitely looks more in depth. It looks more.
You put time into it.
Yeah, exactly. It looks more developed than just a picture plastered onto a shirt of woodland.
Yeah, you could. We could get into a long discussion about some of the patterns that have been around for 30 years, and the companies that are famous for their stick and leaf camo have done very, very well. But to me, that's not my style. And so what I do with Relv is build style into the patterns. So even though it works in that biome, whether we're hunting or we play airsoft, when you get up close to that pattern, I want people to appreciate the style and the actual artwork that it went into it, rather than just a photoshopped, here's your.
Yes.
So
that's right.
No,
so,
I'm trying not to diss on the stick and leaf, but
no, of course. Everybody is allowed. Everybody is allowed an opinion.
Right. Yeah, with Relv, we want style, and that's why Arius, back when we started this conversation, the tagline, weaponized camouflage, that's what it is about. So it's not about weapons; it's actually just a play on the word, meaning that the artwork is weaponized. So the camouflage patterns are weaponized.
That's why I caught on to it, because I thought it was quite interesting that you used the words weaponized camo. I thought maybe it's a coinage towards the military side of what could be, but it's not. It seems to have that, as you said, it is camouflage, but it's specifically designed in such a way to be good at it, but also stylistic. You said that part of your business is to add style, and I completely agree with you. When I look at camouflage patterns, I find that if it's consistent and has the right colors, that's one part of it. That's just one part. If it works, that's another part. There are a few factors that I see in camouflage, and in the end, functionality is like 1/3 or quarter of what will make me want to buy it, which is weird, because you think I need camouflage as a function, but then you think, actually no, clothing, fashion, stuff like that, it's like a part of nature, and as we have personalities, so does camouflage. It's not just a function. Otherwise we'd all be using the same camouflage for different biomes, and that'd be it. We'd never develop any further. So seeing stuff like this, and I liked the way you use that tagline. It's like your elevator pitch, and I think it works. Some people may look at weaponized and go, "Ooh, I'm not so sure this is kind of a military term," but you just think, if you look into it and you go in depth, this is an adjective being used to personify camouflage, as being used in multiple different ways with different factors that makes it effective. I think weaponized could be abstracted with effective camouflage, or whatever factor you put into that, you can apply that to that adjective, and that's why it caught my eye when I looked at your About Us page. It was just there, and I thought, ooh, I want to know more about this. Sorry, I just got a weird one. USM Blueberry, is that a camouflage?
Yeah, U.S. Navy's old pattern.
Ah, okay. See, that's how little I know about camouflage right now.
But I think what Kurt and yourself were saying, Arias, is that it actually flows very, very nicely to the next question that and actually, you know what, Arias, what you just said sounded, it was very eloquently put, and how you came to that thought process. So you actually made me think a lot about how the term could be personified. But I feel like the how the sentence is going, it goes very, very smoothly to the next question that Kurt came up with, not me. So let's we can continue with what. Let us continue with the next one.
Where are we going?
Yes. Where? Well, what is the question?
Let me get the official here.
I thought you just asked it. Silk pajamas.
Where is Relv going, and where do
Silk
you think
pajamas.
Okay, where do we think Relv is going? Now, from what I understand is when Kurt asked this question, because I didn't come up with it.
Right.
Like where do you see Relv's future heading to? Arius?
That's pretty difficult for me. I'm not really that in depth into the industry. I'm assuming. I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. Feels slightly. Feel out of my depth to answer that question in a business context. Okay. Silk pajamas. There you go. I think Copperhead silk pajamas would be great. I don't know. It really depends on your current demographic, which I think is nice. I think it would be nice. I think it's broad, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I think camouflage meets, as you said, many different elements. So I really don't know how best to answer that other than expand carefully.
From what I had gathered from even what Arius said and what Kurt said is that it's something that you like to put into it is style. You stylize the patterns that you have, and when it comes to anything style, you look towards fashion. Mm-hmm. And something that people, and you're right, you look at the M81, and I remember before I even started working at Red Wolf, I was working at Hollister like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And back then is when camouflage started getting popular in the fashion industry. Sure, you see hints in it over there, you see hints of it, and you see their own version of what they presume to be camouflage, which honestly looks horrendous most of the time. But I feel like from what I've seen on your Instagram and from the conversations that we've had, Kurt, that fashion is where I see Relv going, or where I have seen the trajectory of Relv. But it would be great to see what, since you're the CEO, it'd be great to know or understand where you believe it to be going.
Okay, well, here it comes. So
what can you divulge?
What I can tell you is when we started Relv, it started out as an experiment. And it was an experiment to see if we could build a company debt-free and be successful. And so far we've been in business, we're going on year 4, and we are debt-free. And we had to use our savings to start the business, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth is, and we're proud of this, is we didn't go out and get, $100,000 loan, small business loan, and then have that pressure over us to, make our quotas. And I love that as a designer, as a creative, because then I don't have somebody else driving the boat. I don't have a loan payment due every month. I don't have minimums that I have to meet. That isn't a reality for a lot of small businesses, but it is for us, because that's how that's what we set out to achieve when we started the company. The dark side of that, the flip side of that, is we have folks that are constantly requesting, hey, can I get this? Can I get that? This type of thing. And the answer is, we'll see, because we are building the company as we want to, and I love that. So there are a ton of companies that start and fail within the first quarter or second quarter of business because they got in over their head, and that's not what we're going to do with Relv. And so we're building very carefully. So now to answer part of the question is, okay, where are we going? We believe that style drives much of what we see in the military space and the hunting space. And there's also the reverse. There's a lot, as you guys know, that happens in the military sector that drives fashion and style and what people are into, especially in the airsoft community. Mm-hmm. So those are the two that I'm going after the hardest, is the tactical space and then the lifestyle. So the street.
Yeah.
And the hunting will come along, because you have folks that love camouflage and they use it for hunting. They'll come along almost for free. So that's our future. Is we're focused on street style, and we're focused on the military, and then the tertiary is the hunting space.
Okay. I see. Now, because of what I remember, like a whole year ago, how I found Relv Camo is I found you on the Ultima boots, the shoes, the Converse shoes.
Yep.
And I just wanted to answer Herman Mock's question. He says, would we find this pattern on these Ultima shoes? And I said, and I would say yes, because it's happened. And I feel like Kurt wears those Moab shoes all the time.
I do.
I remember it was the first thing he took a picture of once I asked if it was happening.
Yep. Yeah. So I think one thing that people don't understand about the fashion industry and manufacturing apparel is it is a slow grind. So that was last year at SHOT Show, Tim, when you and I linked up, and the boots, you'll have Moab and Marauder in January of 2021.
Oh my God, yes.
I think Tim needs to change his Copperhead pants right now.
Yeah, well, I've got a pair hanging in the studio here. So so Ultima officially announced, I think it was back in July, that they picked us up, and it's official. We signed, and I can tell you, as I speak, those boots are being made, and we are super excited.
You're hearing it here. Wait, are people hearing it first here, Kurt? Or have they heard it from Ultima?
Yeah. So Ultima did an official announcement, but yeah, as far as manufacturing, it'll be they were going to debut at SHOT Show, but if you guys have heard, SHOT Show's been canceled.
Yep.
So you'll buy them direct from their website, right around Christmas, for sure. The New Year is what they've told me.
I think I know what I'm forcing my family to buy me for Christmas.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've been excited for those boots for since a year now, and one thing I've actually been wondering, especially for you, I asked this. I mean, sorry, you came up with this question because.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, you came up with this question because, where do you feel like it goes in the tactical space? Because right now, from what I've seen, there's not a whole lot going on. I see people wearing multi-cam a lot. I see people wearing Tiger Stripe, these Gen 3. I've actually got I'm getting the Gen 4 night camo tops and bottoms. Will we be able to see Relv camo pattern on Gen 3/4 tactical pants or tactical shirts?
Yes, that is in the plan for 2021. Our primary business model is that of licensing, so we really are at the mercy of who licenses Relv and then builds product. So I can tell you that I have worked with a company in 2020 that builds tactical gear. Who that is, I can't say. When they'll release, I can't say. But yes, I'm equally as excited to wear Gen 3 combat pants in Relv. Absolutely. So yeah, it's definitely on my radar.
I think I've seen something. I'm not sure if you had posted it on your Instagram, but I've seen a camo pattern on a front pouch that sits on the tactical plate carrier. Would that be one of the companies that you're working with? I see it here.
Tracer Tactical.
Yes, Tracer Tactical.
And then Gadsden Dynamics.
Yep.
I'll take you guys. We'll go into the man cave together and let's see what I have in here. Show you.
Yeah. Let's see what's in production.
Tim, be careful. You might get too excited.
Yeah. These are hammered Copperhead combat pants.
Nice. That's been around for a while.
Yep. Those are Copperhead. What else?
Those were a one-off, I assume.
There's lots of gear. What's that?
Those combat pants were a one-off, I assume.
Yeah, those are prototypes. Yep. We've got some DPM desert, just for areas.
Oh, there we go.
And what else have I got in here? Ghillie Suits. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Ghillie Suit out of the wazoo, yeah. That looks awesome.
I've got a couple of Ghillie Suits. These I build myself. I don't buy them, but I do build them on a Voodoo tactical smock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shawl, I should say.
Okay, I have a question for you, and maybe like to answer those who actually run Ghillie Suits in general. They smell once used. How do you deal with the abomination of that stench post use?
Do you remember how I was talking about how speed is the advantage in airsoft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just run really fast.
You just see this bush running past you in the background. I was like, what the hell is that?
Right. Yeah.
I thought I smelled something. Wasn't sure what it was.
It's a mirage. Don't worry about it. It's a mirage.
Yeah. I think we're just going to call that pattern the tumbleweed. It's just going off.
That's right. Yeah, they can really reek after a while. But I drag mine through horse manure. I drag mine through mud,
on purpose?
Just all the time, because you want to mask everything, even from the dogs, so.
I understand. Okay.
Now, Tim, I got to ask you guys, does your fan base, are they into thermal?
Mine definitely is.
Now that it's getting colder, I've been looking to get into thermal. Yeah, I think thermal has been and will be important, especially for Canadians up here.
I think Arius knows what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I think we're talking about thermal imaging more than anything else.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Are you talking about negating thermals in your clothing?
Yes. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is our product we call Eclipse.
I think I remember seeing a story or a post about that, how it was covering when you are in thermal, it just covers you up and makes you invisible to a thermal.
Yes. Well, I'm careful about using the word invisible, because what it does is scrambles your image,
heat signature. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So this is our product. Sorry, Tim, go ahead.
No, is it the texture?
So we have a patent on two things. One is the formulation on the dyes, and then the other is the way the fibers are constructed in the weave. I don't know if you guys can see that up close.
I can see it has like a wicked.
Yeah. So our competitors, most of our competitors in this space, mask thermal signature with everything from space blankets to all kinds of crazy stuff. And it works. The problem is it's not sustainable. So, within 10 minutes, a guy running is absolutely just cooking himself inside this thermal mitigator.
Yeah.
Right. So we went the other direction, and we went with a mesh. And if you understand the way a heat sink dissipates heat, for those of you guys that are computer guys or car guys, that's the way our fabric works. It basically is a heat sink, and as long as there is a little bit of space where you can get airflow between the fabric and your body, the heat source, then it does a phenomenal job of basically fragmenting your thermal signature. You can check out on our Instagram. There's several videos of us testing it in the field, and then and then what we do is we print on either side. So this is tunnel rat. And then if you're transitioning, you just flip it over and you have Moab.
That's awesome.
Just give me 1 sec. I should be able to show a video in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
wait. You're able to show a video in...
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So there we go. That looks like you've got a... I don't know what to call it. I reviewed one of these, not thermal one, but similar.
That's the Snug Pack Ionosphere.
There you go. We can barely. I just about saw movement, but other than that, on the thermograph, there's nothing. Oh, there you are.
Yep.
Just popped up.
That is very clever. So it's distorting the thermals, so it stops it from being able to create a contrast or a saturation of
Yeah.
Pixels.
And in that video, the guy that was out there testing it, I was actually behind the scope following him and filming. He literally had a BDU in multicam.
Yeah.
So just a U.S. Army issue top, basically a combat shirt, and then a pair of jeans, and then he had the Eclipse fabric draped over a camera tripod, and he was literally just holding the tripod in front of him like this with it draped in front of him. So it wasn't like he was wearing a ghillie suit or anything like that. He was literally just holding it in front of him, and that you can see the result in that video. So this, as you can imagine, has drawn the attention of militaries around the globe.
Yeah.
And so, so we have had some new opportunities with the special operations community around the Eclipse product.
I just had a comment saying, please don't sell this to Airsoft. It's already bloody hard to see those damn snipers.
Unfortunately, when it comes to airsoft, a lot of airsofters don't have the money to even buy anything when it comes to thermal imaging or night vision goggles. So it would be rather pointless to even own such a thing. But that's still very, very exciting for you in that that stepping stone. That will, for you, technology-wise, is a stepping stone in to gain recognition within what's going on in the military and special forces and whatnot. So that's really exciting. That's super exciting.
You've definitely piqued my interest technology-wise, because the amount of time I've spent looking at technology like that, the improvisation of trying to mask thermals and IR specific stuff is just awesome. I see so many different ideas, some of them working really well, some of them only working in specific biomes, and some of them just not working at all. I just think, that's an awesome idea. You look at the pattern and then you go, oh, this is the practical application? Well, that doesn't work at all.
That's interesting, because if it was actually possible, Arius does a lot of blogging for anything airsoft or real steel, and anything technology, anything's new. And if this is something that you are willing to help spread within the airsoft world, I feel like Airsoft Military News blog is a fantastic place to go to. Arius does fantastic work.
Thank you.
He's very eloquent. His video reviews are getting there,
The only reason, that's not me. That's my cameraman. He's the reason that the videos are getting or getting there, as you call it.
Yeah, getting there. Getting there. But if there was a possibility for, if you wanted this to help being pushed out, not that you actually need help, to be honest, but Arius is a good one to go to. If there was one that you could, I don't want to entice, I don't want to have Arius drooling over this, but this is another topic that he would love to talk about, just saying.
Sure, yeah. We can talk further for sure.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for selling that without me having
any input on that. Drop that in. I just wanted to drop that in.
If anyone asks, you're the one who said these things, not me.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Chris will be very happy with me, if anything.
Yeah.
Right. You know what, Kurt? I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time here. It really, really means a lot to both Arius and I that we can have a special guest and that we get things going. And there was only one fault where we feel like we lost you for a second, but you came back in 10 seconds, so all is well.
Everything was good. We were actually worried if you even noticed. I was like, he's still talking. Everything's good. Let's just continue. Everything's fine.
Yeah. So if at some point we can grab you again in the future when we have more updates in terms of Relv products, we'd love to keep our viewers / listeners updated, so we can just keep a conversation going there.
Absolutely.
And I would normally let Arius at this point work on the outro, but before I let him do that, would you like to tell people in the comment section how they find you?
The best way to find us is Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. We are a small shop, and I'm an extremely busy guy, so I don't have the bandwidth for all of the social platforms, so I stick to Instagram for now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best way to stay in touch and to stay in the loop on what we are releasing, who we're working with. I can tell you that we have some pretty exciting stuff coming out with some of our licensees toward the end of this year. We're awfully close. December is right around the corner. And then for 2021, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming. So
I'm
that's the best
happy to hear that.
Yeah, just find us on Instagram. Relv Camo is the profile name. Our website is relvcamo.com. So yeah, that'd be the best way.
Awesome,
I think I've linked that in the description for people as well.
Yes, you did
Cool.
earlier. And we'll probably do a post at the end of this saying if you want to know more about Relv Camo, go to relvcamo.com.
Yep.
There we go.
Just out. Guys, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show. A lot of
Thank you
fun.
for having us.
Thank you. All right, Arius, would you like to wrap things up?
Well, normally we say if you liked this episode, please like it, please share it, and we will see you next week at 8 o'clock with another episode. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Tim. I was about to say thank you, Arius. No, I can't thank myself. Thank you, Tim, for being my co-host.
You're welcome, Arius.
Thank you, Kurt, so much for being actually our first live guest on this podcast. Being
My
a small
pleasure.
podcast, there isn't much that we can glorify over, but this is definitely one of them. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And as
My
always,
pleasure.
we will see all of you soon. Thank you for watching.